Welcome back. For Aaron Crouch, I am Michael Carvelis. This is the Pick'em Wars podcast presented by pick'emwars.com/podcast. Follow Pick'em Wars on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit. Subscribe, good Lord, to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Visit our show page at mikeandaarondrive.com. And Aaron, before we get into what we're going to talk about, I do want to mention that Mike Leach did tragically pass away due to a heart attack. Longtime college football coach, and a lot of people had a lot of nice things to say. Definitely a face you recognize in college football. I just wanted to give a shout out to him. I know it definitely came out of the blue, and I hope the team and the family can recover. But it's horrible, man.
Yeah, obviously, you never want to see something like this. Mike Leach was a character, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but he was, a face in college football that you always look to, whether it was a great soundbite or just, leading and guiding young men. It's sad to see this happen. When the coach is active, when the coach is, engaged and involved, and just out of the blue, something so tragic happens. It's not fun to see, and I know, taking the political aspect and putting it aside, he was definitely a beacon of leadership for college football, and he'll be missed.
I agree, and I like the point you mentioned about the young men because I feel like it almost hits. I don't want to say like put one death before another, but I feel like it almost hits more home whenever it's a guy like as a young person. Like this guy molds you because, to be fair, when you're 18, 19, and 20, you're still learning how to do this thing called life. And he was obviously big in a lot of young people's lives. And so no matter if they made the NFL or not, so I think that would be definitely hit them home a lot harder than others certainly would. So shout out Mike Leach.
100%. Yep.
Let's get to our week 14 recap. Aaron, Deshaun Watson has struggled in back-to-back weeks as the Browns lost the Bengals 10-23. The red hot Bengals, by the way. Are you concerned for the Browns offense? And I have a question to ask you as well. Should the Browns just roll with Jacoby Brissett? Because let's say Watson hurts his knee again, like he did years ago. I mean, I don't know if 5-8 makes the playoffs in that division or in that conference for that matter.
Well, so I can understand the theory behind benching Deshaun Watson. You're right; he hasn't looked great. I know they beat the Texans in his return, but I think they won despite not scoring an offensive touchdown.
Yeah, Baker would have won that game. Was my logic for that.
That's fair. He did win a game. He won a game on Thursday.
Well, yeah, of course.
No, I don't think they should sit Deshaun Watson. He's sat enough over the last almost 2 years. He needs these
reps,
these games and these reps. And theoretically, they're not out of postseason, competition here. I know it's bleak. The chances are slim to none, and Slim's, packing up to leave town here. But he needs these games, regardless of whether it is playoff implicated or not. And I think that this is why you acquired him. You planned on having him out for half a season. Let him do his thing.
I like that point. Like you said, you got him for these kind of moments, and against adversity, Browns quarterbacks have not been great, so maybe Deshaun can be. We'll have to see how the next 4 games go, but I like that point. Cowboys going to Cowboys. They escaped the Texans who were visiting them. Not that a visiting mattered in Houston, but with a win in Dallas, 27-23. So is a win a win, or is this more power for Dallas skeptics?
I think it can be both. Right. I think it can be both. Of course, we've talked about this on our show before, and you've certainly always wondered why Dallas is such a popular or polarizing team, America's team, as obviously they're so affectionately called, because half the country is going to be haters or skeptics, like you say. So yeah, there's some fuel for that. As far as I'm concerned, you put up 27 points, you should win a majority of your games in the NFL. I'm fine with that. This may be kind of an inspection of the defense right now. Dan Quinn's defense has been absolutely incredible. The Texans are just a wounded duck that walks in week to week and just, tries not to get slaughtered.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not going to try to put too much into this. They got out with a win. Um, you almost kind of want to take it easy against teams like this, but not too easy. And they definitely escaped, as you so eloquently called it. I wouldn't sweat too much with this Dallas fan, but of course it's going to add some extra kindling for those Dallas haters.
Fair enough. Every week, I feel like the Panthers are personally sabotaging the owner's wishes to tank as they beat the Seahawks. Has Geno the Genie ran out of wishes for the
Geno the
Seahawks?
Genie, I
That's
like
all I can
that.
think of.
I don't know. I mean, I think he's kind of regressing to the mean at this point. It was nice to see, them jump out to a hot start, but in the NFL, the you get figured out, so to speak. And I know Geno's been in the league for a long time, but he doesn't have a ton of rep on him since he's been a
That's
starting
true.
quarterback with the Jets. Um, yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, especially with the NFC right now, because you look at it, the NFC East is basically bogarting all of the playoff spots at this point.
That's insane.
I know it is a crazy thing. Kind of part of me, despite the fact that I'm not a big fan of any of those teams in the NFC East, it's kind of an interesting thing that I'm secretly rooting for that they all make the playoffs, because I don't think it's ever happened before where all the
I know
wild
3 has
card
happened even
teams.
a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, but all four, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, the Seahawks have a tough stretch, especially I think this Thursday. Depending on when you're watching this, I think this comes out Friday.
Right.
They've got San Francisco, and who's going to play quarterback for San Francisco? They may be able to sneak a cheap win depending on how the 49ers play coming off a short week here. But with the injuries in the backfield, it's hard for Geno to really kind of do his thing here in this spot. He needs that running game, and Kenneth Walker's hurt right now.
Oh, that's insane. Um, I'm glad you mentioned San Fran. I'm just gonna do a mic drop here. I'm not gonna drop my mic because I love this thing. But is Brady done?
No, I just think he's 40. He's a 46-year-old distracted quarterback
Yeah.
who has an offensive line that we said in the beginning of the season would be a
Yep.
problem. I mean, it just like nobody can stay healthy on that offensive line, and it's a problem. He can't go anywhere. He hasn't been able to in his entire career. Um, when you say done as far as like this season, yeah, I think they're done. Now, could they win the division and make a playoff? They're going to
Which is
host a playoff
sickening,
game.
but yeah.
Yeah, they could even win a game. But as far as are they a Super Bowl contender? Absolutely, 100%, unequivocally, no.
I don't think you believed that in the beginning of the season anyway. So shout out to
I
you.
did believe it. I bet the under on their 11.5 wins. Don't
No,
you
I'm saying
forget that.
I don't think you believe they were a Super Bowl contender anyways. That's what I was saying. I was giving you
Oh
credit
no,
there.
no, I did
Yeah.
not. No, I did not.
Alrighty. Well, let's play Pick'Emores Week 15 at pick'emores.com/podcast. Aaron, ready to win some free money?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Same. I like that
Get some
generic
focus
football
there.
player. Right. Falcons and the Saints come marching in. Um, Saints are favored by 4. Aaron, I think this one's almost a gimme. I'm gonna go with the Falcons +4 because if you think one of these teams is gonna blow out the other one, you have not watched football the last 15 years.
Especially not in the NFC South. These are always tough games. Atlanta always gives New Orleans a threat. Both these
No matter who the
teams are.
quarterback is.
Yeah, and speaking of quarterback, we do have a changing of the guard, so to speak, in Atlanta. Desmond Ritter will be the starter.
Oh, it's
It's been
official. Okay.
announced. It has been announced that Desmond Ritter will be the starter. So, yeah, I've been campaigning for Desmond to be the starter since day one. So yeah, why go away from him now? Every time I've bet the Saints, they've burned me. So
Hmm.
it's good time to hop on the Dirty Birds. Let's go Falcons. I'm gonna lock that in for +4 here.
Love it. Eagles and the Bears. The Eagles are 9-point favorites. My goodness, I don't like that too much. But here's the thing. I look at this as like an NFC matchup, just like I think Eagles are going to win. I think Eagles have been getting a lot of sexy wins. I understand that. I don't know when the Bears last played. I think they haven't played in a century at this point. Was it Thanksgiving or whatever? I don't even know when they last played.
It feels like a while. I believe they were off last week, so those 2 week gaps can feel mighty large. I can respect that. I think the last time they played, they were beaten by Rodgers. I think it was
Yeah, and that was a
the
comeback too because Rodgers wasn't supposed. The Bears looked like they were had him dead to rights for a little bit. I'm
they
gonna go with the
did.
Bears +9. I think they can. I think they lose, but I don't think it's gonna be some knockdown, drag out blowout. And if I'm feeling frisky, the shaver might work too here for +16. I'll just go with I'll just go with +9 for the Bears.
All right, fair enough. I think Philly's kind of rolling right now. Chicago. I mean, at this point, what you should be playing for is a better draft pick. I know that
Yeah.
the players on the field don't necessarily agree with that because they may not be around to see what that draft pick is. But they were talking about this on a sports radio show and how well Justin Fields has been playing and how he would look on, let's say, the Jets if they had gone with him instead of Zach Wilson. But I don't know. I think there's just not a lot of fight left in these Bears. Coming off a bye week, I'll give them the +9, but I don't really love it myself. So I'm going to lock in the +9 as well. But it wouldn't shock me if they lost this game by 3 touchdowns, even at
I
home.
I meant like -2, but I meant to say +16 if I did the shaver for the Bears. That was my bad on that one.
You did say +16.
I said -16, but
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
was
okay.
wishy
So
washy there. But
I
anyways,
heard the 16. Yeah.
right. Regardless, also sell your Mike White t-shirts now if if Justin Fields is going to the Jets. Just sell those Mike flipping t-shirts, Mike flipping White t-shirts.
Oh, I mean,
That was dirty. I'm sorry.
yeah, he's not going anywhere. The Bears know what they have in him, and this new regime with Eberflus is going to give him some opportunities in the offseason. They've got a lot of cap space, so that's we'll save that for the Pick'em Wars offseason podcast.
Right, and dumping Roquan Smith, by the way, was good for that cap space out of nowhere. Just dumping a dude in his prime. Still don't get it. We don't care. Jets. I've never seen this on Pick'em Wars. Because usually it's like one way or the other. We're
Mm-hmm.
calling this a toss up on Pick'em Wars. I kind of like that better than Pick'em because it's kind of already a thing. So we're just gonna go toss up here. Give me the Jets. I don't know why the Lions on the road are even favored by or for anybody. So give me the Jets.
Lions have been playing good ball here. They just beat the Vikings. I know,
Division rival.
the tough spot. They are a 10-3 team, but they're not a very prolific 10-3 team.
Right.
They've put up some points. I don't know what to make of these Jets right now. We kind of talked about it with benching Zach Wilson. While it may have been a smart move, it's just been kind of tough the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to take the Lions. I'm going to say that engine keeps kind of rolling here. Part of me wants to shave this to a 7 point, +7 points, but I'm going to hold on to that shaver. I see it, in a good spot for a couple other teams here. But I'm going to take the Lions here on the road against these Jets. I kind of thought the Jets would be done 3 or 4 weeks ago. I know they won a game against the Bears, but I kind of thought their season was going to be going down the roller coaster here now. So.
I dig that. I'll reserve my thoughts because I've already said on another show on what I think of Zach Wilson being randomly benched for saying one thing, but that's another story. The t-shirts did not help me either, by the way. Let's do about power-ups. I'll go first here with just to let you know, most people who win cash on Pick'em Wars use power-ups. When you finish outside the top 3, but still did pretty good, tokens are rewarded, which can be used to buy power-ups. So, first one, if you buy the shaver, which Aaron looks like you need one of those, pal, it's 75 tokens to move a football spread 7 points in your favor. And last week, I don't know if you caught the show last week, I told people to shave the Eagles to a pick 'em, and it would have been a free pick. Unfortunately, you didn't need it, but yeah, if you used that last week, you're welcome. That was a free pick. Like, you literally drop it down to a toss up. I don't know how it's possible. I talked to our buddy who is with Pick'emores, and he did it. So happy for him.
Yeah, the shaver is a big one, especially if you're a gambler and you like to tease. It's the shaver is really the way
Jeez.
to go in that spot. I'm a big fan of the eraser lately. The eraser power up 100 tokens gives you
Mm.
the right to basically just say, "I'm looking at a game here. I don't like it. I'm going to erase it from the lineup." Don't forget, guys, when you erase that, all of your picks now are that much more valuable. So make sure
Mhm.
you're very confident in what else you've picked, because when you skip that game, it makes everything else that much more important. But it is only 100 tokens, and it does take a little bit of stress out of your life if you just can't figure out which side to go. Hey, think of that toss up game. If you really don't know
That's a
where to
good
go with the
point.
toss up game, the Lions and Jets, I mean, that's exactly why it is a toss up. Throw it away, erase it. 100 tokens, take it off your board there.
I like that. Another 100 tokens can be used to buy the double down. Have your football pick count, twice. But if you get it wrong, it does hurt twice. On money line, like the UFC contest, double the units of your favorite pick with no risk. That's not only fair for the football players here, but yeah, 150 tokens. Okay, well that's a double down. I'm sorry, I went ahead of myself. That's double down for 100 tokens. Now, 150 of those puppies can be used to buy the pick boost, which turns a loss into a win. Once you buy it, though, beware the next contest you enter uses said boost. Just want to
Yeah,
throw
and
that
if
out.
you're like Mike, you can always buy these tokens because he doesn't win them anymore. You can buy them through
Mm.
PayPal. You can buy them through PayPal and get yourself some tokens to help you buy these power ups, because the power ups, like you said in the beginning of the show, they are crucial to you winning money. I mean, I every week I
Mhm.
see the guys at the top who are winning money have used 2, 3, and 4 power ups, and when I won money on Pick'em Wars, I use power ups as well. So if you're like Mike and you don't win them anymore, don't forget you can still buy them.
It's gonna pay off one day. All these can be used once per contest. So
Yes, yes,
there's
all of
that.
them can be used once, so use wisely.
You use I like that. Use and choose and pick wisely. All right. Steelers at the Panthers. Now, if you told me 4 or 5 weeks ago the Panthers would be favored in a game this year, that's pretty impressive at this point. They're favored by 2.5, so it's not much. I am going to take I'm gonna go with the blue kitty cats here. I think they're playing well. That's a lie. I'm going with the Steelers. I was looking for my notes. Okay, I'm going with the Steelers. The reason I picked the Steelers because I feel like Panthers still have like a little bit of tank left in them. I mean, Mike Tomlin, I feel like he's got a little bit of pride here, holding down the fortress of colored coaches. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with Steelers plus 2.5. I have nothing. This is a game I want to erase actually, but I'm not gonna use it.
Fair enough. I mean, this would be an interesting game to do that. Panthers kind of seem to be having a little bit of a jolt of life, and
Mm-hmm.
especially being in the NFC South, this is good for them. At 5-8, they're only one game back
No.
of those Bucks, or 1.5 games back of those Bucks. So anything is possible with the way the NFC South is just puking up all over it. So I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers here in this spot too. I'm going to say they get probably a 3 to 4 point win. I think this game's close. We got no Kenny Pickett. I know that um, there are some rumors that your boy Mitch Trubisky might not even be the starter. It could be Mason Rudolph. And I mean, this is how.
Oh boy, they've tried that before. Please do that. We're gonna go and pick the Panthers. Yeah, let's do that. I like that.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen, but it has been rumored that he may get some game time here.
Love
So
it.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with Carolina here. They've been playing a little resurgent. Ever since Baker has been gone, I think they're like 3-1. straight up. So
Ooh.
I'll take the Panthers here. You know, but put some scare into the top of the with those Buccaneers at 6-7 with a 6-8 record here. So we'll see what happens.
The jolt of energy they need. Um, Cowboys and Jaguars. The Cowboys are 5-point favorites. I actually want to do like the plus 12 here for Jacksonville, but I can't do it. I think last week was a sham. I think people are riding high on the Jaguars right now. I love what Trevor Lawrence has become with Doug Peterson. I was on that train to start the year. Travis Etienne, when healthy, has been great. Christian Kirk and Zay Jones getting into the mix here, along with Evan Ingram. Hello, nice to meet you, Evan. Welcome to the NFL. Finally, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, though. I think they get back on the schneid here. I think Jacksonville's feeling themselves a little bit too much.
Yeah, you and I are on the same wavelength here. I know that the public is going to try to sell low on Jacksonville and buy high on, or excuse me, sell low on Dallas and buy high on Jacksonville here. You know, Jacksonville's won 2 games in a row, both pretty comfortable looking against Detroit and Tennessee last week. You know, like you said, we talked about at the beginning of the show, Cowboys slipped by the Texans. I'm going to take the Cowboys -5 here as well for them to get a comfortable 11
Right.
point win here.
And it's not, I love, again, I love what Doug Peterson's done, but I just don't, I feel like they might be like half a year away. And unfortunately, that means they missed the playoffs. But Cowboys winning by 7 should be too easy right here, in my opinion.
Definitely trending towards the good. Trevor Lawrence has looked good, but yeah, I don't think they get this one.
Love it. Chiefs and the Texans, Aaron, I'm telling you what, Chiefs have struggled with 2 teams this year. The Colts, who they lost to, the Titans, who took them to the brink on Sunday Night Football. And wouldn't you know it, both those teams have something in common. Their quarterback is okay. Their run game is where it's at. And Lovie Smith is supposed to be a defensive-minded head coach. I know they just gave it their all against the Cowboys, but you're telling me they go back to Houston, that long trip from Dallas to Houston? Give me Houston to cover the 14. I would shave it to 21, but I don't feel like I need to do. I feel like Chiefs win by 10. I'll be fine here.
It's funny you say that Chiefs win by 10 in this spot because I am feeling the exact spot for a shave, a hot and fresh, steamy shave. I'm going to take Kansas City in this spot, take 7 points off that, make
Love
them
it.
a 7 favorite. I think that because it's a 1 o'clock game, probably not a lot of eyeballs on it, not a lot of pay attention. I know that we see Kansas City kind of, for lack of a better word, struggle, quote unquote, in the marquee matchups.
They were up
Uh,
27-0, to be
I'm
fair.
not even sure I would need a shaver here, but just to feel good about it, I'll shave them down to 7. I still think they get somewhere around a 14 to 17 point win here. 38-21, I'll call it.
Woo! Let's get to a commercial, and we're going to talk about last week's Wieners. We'll be right back.
You like sports? Do you like free money? You're going to be watching the game anyway, so join us at pick'emwars.com to play. Weekly NFL and NCAA contests are live right now. Play free at pick'emwars.com.
802 people joined the UFC December 10th contest for 600 puppies. Not puppies. That would be cool if it was puppies. Alex FTWXD, like the face goes like this. Yeah. And Kill Silver. It must be gold speaking right there. That's bad. Each one
That's pretty funny, actually.
each one $247, but each earning 18.5 units, and they both use double down and pick boost. Can you say twinning? That was actually pretty weird how that worked out. Capital JJCCJJ, all caps, like I said, was second, winning $70. And Manson, MANCIN, won $35.29 for finishing third. It just gets better or worse, whichever the week is. 233rd. Aaron decided he's not good enough at UFC to make picks, so he didn't.
Well, I figured forgetting to make the picks is better than finishing 233rd. It almost
Whoa,
seems like.
watch your mouth. I got like 5 of them right, but somehow that wasn't good enough. Who cares? They got like 9 units. That's. I mean, I don't know how that. I don't know what that means. I just think
The UFC has not been kind to us.
no. And the guy I thought looked tougher in that marquee matchup, it ended a draw. Aaron, how in the Lord's name does it happen when you fight someone tooth and nail in blood and gore and it ends in a draw? That's the dumbest thing in sports. Is that sports than the time in the NFL's UFC fighting in a draw?
Yeah, because there's usually only 3 judges, so it's really hard to get a draw
Dumb.
in fighting. So yeah, it's even more gross.
In 5 rounds, not 6, 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you're right. It's pretty gross sometimes. Sets up rematches though.
Yeah, it's almost RIGGED.
Ooh, careful with the R word.
So many bad R words. 1,154 people joined the Week 14 NFL contest for 800 kittens. Well, okay, so we have our first repeat champion on the Pick 'em Wars podcast. I asked our Pick 'em Wars guy. He's seen repeat winners, but never back to back. So shout out to Extra Ran W. I can't even joke about the thing because there's nothing there. But he won $267.67 again, getting 100% of his picks right again.
Attaboy. Congratulations. Vice golf clap to you, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. Shinax 101 led a total of 6 people who finished tied for second. They all won $76 each. That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
2 people tied for third, winning $38 each. Aaron was 17th and won 16 tokens. A little Vice snap to you.
Hey, I'll take them when I can get them.
Right. And I was like, how did I get 0% correct? And I was like, oh, I didn't make any picks. I told people before the show last week that I thought I made my picks. Apparently I didn't. So apparently tied for 30th is 0%.
Yeah, that'll do it when you pick nothing. So way to go. Apparently you didn't think you were good enough to make NFL picks.
Whoa. The turns have tabled, okay? That's all I know about that.
You are correct.
Let's do it. Cardinals, Broncos. Arizona is underdogs by 3. You know, I would say Broncos would win this game. I mean, I this is another eraser spot, by the way. Like, this was like one of the 2 spots. I'm like, ugh, gross. But I eventually went with the Cardinals to cover. I think Colt McCoy, I don't like him in Denver, but I like him enough to like maybe win or maybe lose by 1. I think Colt McCoy is better than people give him credit for. He's one of those solid Ryan Fitzpatrick type backups. Maybe not as good as Fitzpatrick, but he's been around a long time for a reason.
I can see your logic behind this, but I'm an international man of chaos.
Ooh.
I love chaos. And so what I'm going to propose here, first of all, I think this game is like 1st to 16 wins. I'm going to propose that Brett Rypien, if he goes in this game, which it looks like he might with the concussion of Russell Wilson here, I'm going to say sad. Brett Rypien gets a dub in this one, which just causes Bronco Nation to ride with Brett Rypien instead of Russell Wilson, which they haven't been riding with Russell Wilson for a few weeks now. I love some chaos. So give me the Broncos -3. I'll say the Broncos get a 7-point victory here. Let's call it 20-13.
I was gonna say 10-3, but that works too.
It wouldn't shock me if it was 10-3. Trust me. They Broncos offense. I just wonder if maybe a little bit of a changing at quarterback could jumpstart this offense. We'll see.
Okay, easy now, puppy dog.
I mean, they've got some good playmakers, you know, as far as
says draft type, sure.
Cortland Sutton, man. You gotta feel for that guy.
I don't. Patriots are favored by 1 against the Raiders. This one simply goes by a thing I like to call coaches. And if you know anything about the NFL at all, Josh McDaniels is really bad. I don't care how much firepower that offense has. He is not good. I'm going to go with Tom Brady's old friend, his other old friend in Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm. Well,
disciple.
I guess we're gonna play the opposite sides
Oh
here.
Lord.
Vegas has been pretty decent at home. I know 3-2 straight up. The other two losses are one possession games. I'm gonna take the Vegas Raiders to win this game here.
Okay. Okay. You sure about that?
Yeah, short week for the Patriots. I know they're just coming off of beating the Cardinals, and
Barely actually on that one too.
I didn't read anything that said they stayed on the West Coast here, so they've done a lot of traveling over the last 6 days here. So I'm going to take the Raiders here in this spot.
All right. Titans and the Los Angeles Superchargers. I don't know. I really don't. Both these teams stink. Well, let me lie. Both these teams should not stink, but they do, are like the most irrelevant good teams ever. So I'm going to go with. Just put a gun to my head. I just put a gun to my head real quick with your fingers. Chargers. That's a bad pick.
I am in the same camp there. I'll take Chargers -3. Don't feel bad. It's tough to really be backing the Titans right now. They're just there's a tough team to watch. They really are.
Oh, I guess Mike Vrabel likes it that way. Bengals 3.5-point favorites against. Oh wow, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Aaron, you're going to hate me for this. I'm going with the Buccaneers.
As am I. We were feeling this one for a shaver as well.
Ooh, gross. I disagree.
What do you mean you disagree? You just took the Bucks.
I think they lose by 3.
Yeah, I think they do too. I think they get a weird, just silly win here at this point. I mean,
silly win.
Everything goes against them at this spot. You know, the Bengals are 5-2 against the spread on the road, and at home the Bucks are 0-5-1. So I don't know why we're doing this, but we are doing this.
This is some weird games this week. Alrighty. Final game of the week, Giants. Well, final game of these picks because there's a bunch of games on Saturday. There's one on Thursday. There's one on Monday because the NFL is stupid. But Giants Commanders, these two teams had a nice little draw, which was not fun for a lot of people. Although it supposedly helped them. Get out of my face with that crap. Give me the Giants +4.5. I don't care if they lose by 3. Let's get another draw in here.
I am going to utilize my eraser pick
with this one. Gross.
Like you say, you don't like draws, you just get rid of them. Well, I'm just going to get rid of this game here. It's tough to say. Both teams playing hot. Washington, I think, is playing a little bit hotter. I think they're both coming off of, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're both coming off buys here at this point. So, or no, the Giants got destroyed last week by Philadelphia.
We know.
So all that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this game and enjoy Sunday Night Football. Not having to sweat it so much with the Pick'em Wars. So I am going to officially submit my entry.
Me too. I think I got it this time, actually.
Yeah, and we are going to be entered into Week 15's contests. So that's going to do it here for us on the Pick'em Wars podcast, week number 15. We hope you enjoy it. Enjoy it responsibly, of course, as always. Make sure you make those picks, and make sure, unlike Michael Carvelis, you do hit submit. Otherwise, it does not go through. Enjoy week 15, and of course, as always, Mike,
happy picking them. Win some money. You get it. Bye.